Why? I have so many questions. I'm not a fan. I refuse to edit it. Sorry. No, that's just incredible. Hope you're having a shit one. Welcome back to another episode of gently roasting and editing your pictures. We've actually got a bit of backstory for this picture. Jonas was heading home on the train when he saw this sort of blaze of smoke happening, and he happened to have his camera on him, walked over to where it was happening, and then there's this entire school. Not entire school, that's a bit too much, but part of the school was on fire. No one was injured, no one was hurt. It's after hours. Firefighters put out the blaze, but far out. What an awesome picture, okay? Like, this is awesome. To come across an entire blaze happening and you just happen to have your camera with you is very lucky. Not so lucky for the school, but very lucky to come across something like this. I mean, how often does this happen and then you have your camera with you to shoot it? I sort of want to like blow out some of the highlights and stuff here. Yeah, but I want the shadows to stay in the shadows because there's not a lot going on down the bottom of the image here, but at the top here there is. Take some contrast out maybe. And I'm gonna bring the top of my highlights down to create sort of that more matte finish, which you can see in the highlight area here. I'm gonna try something a bit different here and try a dark green edit. You're gonna hear me say that a fucking lot. So let me bring this down here, something like that. I definitely need to take some saturation out because it's looking a bit too contrasty. This photo actually reminded me of something. I remember seeing on the news at one point that 3 kids had got together and firebombed the school after hours. And I think almost half the school, or maybe half this certain section or whatever of the school, like burnt down, cost the school a fuckload of money. I mean, I don't know if this is probably a good thing to say, but I feel like I've had those thoughts. I feel like we've all had those thoughts at school, surely. Your teachers have just been such dicks to you and you've just wanted to turn around and be like, you better watch your words, Miss Callahan. You may not have a job tomorrow. I'm gonna fucking burn this school down. And then someone actually goes and does it. I mean, I don't know how this fire started and then maybe they got expelled or something. I don't know. But you gotta have a lot of hatred for your school to go and start a fire in it. So yeah, surely we've all had those thoughts, right? No? Just me? Okay. Anyway, on that bottom part of the image to be really dark. I want all the focus to be on our fireman here and the fire. And I really do love that hazy look. I don't like when there's too much clarity. I like the opposite. I just think it works nicer with all the little tree branches. It really suits this image. And maybe we can try and take some other colors out. We don't need any greens. The yellows could be more orange. The highlights are actually retained pretty well in this image. I can't really roast this photo too much because the building is actually getting roasted itself. So, wow, bro. What an incredible picture, man. Like, I still can't believe you just happened to be walking past this and just had your camera with you. What are the chances? In our shadows here, in our color grading, I'm just gonna bring a bit of dark greens in and the highlights can go even more orange. There we go. Before, after. What is that outfit? Someone's gone into the store, whether it's like a secondhand shop or whatever, rocked up and been like, yeah, I want that one. The one that makes me look like a fucking Persian rug. And why do you look like you're in a school car park as well? Nothing is working cohesively in this picture. I know it might seem like I'm nitpicking, but these random trees in the background, random buildings, sky opening here, another random building. What does all that mean? Why did you choose this location specifically? What's the story you're trying to show here? Because to me, it looks like this chick, she just got back from Persian rug store and she's driving this old car and it broke down. I mean, maybe that is what you wanted. If I were you, I would have done this at like maybe at a diner or outside a restaurant with neon lights or something. Put like a red light or orange light in the car, put a fill light on your model, get her smoking a ciggy, really start to paint a story there of what's happening. This just looks like it's rushed. Not much thought has gone into it, not much planning. If Temu had an AI generative fill, this is what you'd be getting. Got a light painting here. So we have the body itself lit up. The wheels, this is actually what makes me hate black wheels at night, is that when you have to light them and edit them like this. This is why I'm not a fan of them. If you put black wheels in your car, you have no taste. Get some fucking silver wheels. It's not that hard. I'm gonna take out some of the yellows first and the purples. Oh my God, that is not the subject. Far out. Thank God for the magic of editing. You don't have to watch me do all this. Thank you, Lightroom AI, for doing a terrible job. So I'm going to take a bit of saturation out to get our car back to its original color. A little bit of warmth as well. So you don't want to take out all the saturation, then it's quite obvious that you did that. You just want it to look natural in its environment. Let's get some tone curve magic happening. I think the E30 is just a really timeless shape, especially the E30 M3s. But I think every type of E30 is really cool. A little bit of green grade. I'm just gonna get this image looking good to an edit I'm pretty happy with, and then take it all into Photoshop and merge both photos together. So let's fix up these wheels down here because the bottom isn't as bright as the top. Get rid of some of those rough edges. I'm gonna add some texture into the wheels, maybe brighten them a little bit more as well. Let me try a radial filter over the car. I'm gonna invert it so it's gonna affect everything but the car and bring down our exposure a bit and also the color. Make it a little bit cooler. Yeah, there's a lot of purples in this image affecting it all, especially the sky. So I'm gonna bring those right across. Don't want any of those. And same with the blues now. Bring them a little bit across to the aqua. This one's just going to be for the ground. Make sure we're not touching the wheels. I'm going to take some saturation out of the ground here and add some clarity. I'm going to try a graduated filter now from the top of our image. I'm going to drag it all the way down and reduce the exposure, and maybe even a second one. I just want to see this looks like. This one is affecting the overall top half of the image, and the other one we just did is more just affecting right of the top of the image a bit more drastically. Try and do this from both sides of the image to help draw that central focus in. Some overall saturation boost. I'm gonna make sure our orange reflector here can stay the right color, which it's not. So let me go over it again and actually just make it properly orange. Yeah, I'm a real sucker for details. I think details really matter. Yeah, okay, next time I'd close this window as well, because from this angle, now you're ruining the line of the car as well. So that's a big no. I might bring the strength halfway down on our subtract mask. Just bring back some color through the glass. Another radial filter. There's a lot of masks here, so fucking keep up. I'm gonna brighten it up, bring some shadows up here. Just a little bit. Another, again, minute adjustments. Can bring some blue highlights up. And also another little detail I like to do is just punch the highlights here in the color grading wheel and the midtones. Let's denoise the image. Look at that. That's incredible, isn't it? So I'm now gonna select both of these images, the headlights now, and the base image that we've edited. Right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. We're gonna get our headlight layer, auto align layers, lighten. Make it look nice and natural. Does that look pretty good? Looks pretty good to me. Save the picture, and now we have a final image here. Could probably go further and keep editing it and cleaning up these sort of little bits and pieces here, which is something I'd probably do. That would be before, excluding the headlight picture, and after. Before, after. Pretty happy with that, actually. Looks great. Well done. Great picture, great car. Next time, get some silver wheels on it. You had everything here for a great picture. Had an awesome car, amazing city of New York. Could have used these buildings over here. That's a really cool texture with the, you know, darker brick and the yellow lights. Maybe using, is that the Manhattan Bridge or Brooklyn Bridge? I think it's the Brooklyn Bridge. All the New York people watching this like, you didn't get the right bridge. But yeah, anyway, like you fucked it, bro. Honestly, sorry. My attention's just going to this prison box thing here. Like, what even is that? Is that a merry-go-round? Why is it in a box? Yeah, dude, you fucked it. I mean, awesome car, but why is it completely off center? What are you actually trying to show me here in your photo? Are you trying to show me the city skyline? Are you trying to show off the car? It's not working cohesively in the picture. Evo's a cool car though. I will give you that. Used to be my dream car when I was a kid, but then I bought a Subaru. Fuck my life. Should have bought an Evo. I like this. It's been turboed, intercooler at the front. I like it even more. This is a sick picture. Let's try 2x1 crop actually. I'm gonna bring my exposure down because that's what we do here. That's pretty much all I know how to edit. I'm gonna start by taking quite a lot of color out. So we have different colors like all bouncing off the car here reflecting. I think a lot of it's purples. Between the purples and blues, yeah. Let's take those blues out, aquas out, greens out, yellows can come down a bit. We'll get back to that later. And the orange, yeah, nice. Everything can come out a little bit. I'm gonna put a point in my tone curve here. It's gonna affect our shadows. Another point up here for our midtones to highlights. Probably bring some contrast out. We're losing a lot of details over the car here as well. Let's create a subject selection and bring up some highlights just a little bit and add some texture in as well. Yeah, okay, sick. This is really starting to come together here. We can use our highlights and our midtones to help create the color a bit more of the sun. So maybe put a bit of orange in there and some yellows, maybe just an ever so slight amount. I'll also do another brush over our wheels, make sure they're nice and silver. Let me see what happens if I put a graduated filter, bring it down from the top here, just darken the sky a bit more. Maybe bring out some clarity too. What happens if we add dark green and just the, ooh. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't want to go too overboard. Before, after. Before, after. Successfully avoided the roast. I actually got an email from YouTube and they told me that if you're subscribed to my channel, you will immediately start editing better photos. So just a random statistic that I got sent, super random. Don't know how it works, but apparently if you are, you immediately become a better editor. Fucking. Why? Dude, there's so much to look at here. You decided, let me take a picture of my toy Corvette when the real car is behind it, when you could have just shot the real thing. And it's not like this is a really small scale model. You know, this is not like a little Hot Wheels you can just put in your pocket. You have planned to do this. You've brought this big scale model of a toy car and you've thought about doing this and this is what you came up with. And why is there an oil tanker in the back? Why are you shooting on sand? I have so many questions. You put all this planning into it. You bring out a model car, which, you know, I don't actually think is a bad idea. If you're 6, and then you stopped it there, you were like, no other thought for any location. I'm just gonna shoot it like this. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. That windscreen's having a great time though. It looks like it's on psychedelics. Far out. Empty parking lot. Very liminal. We love liminal spaces. And here's an idea. Here's an idea. Why don't you finish painting your project car before you go out and take pictures of it? And it's not like it's a Toyota 86 fucking Hakasuka, oh, look at me, I'm tofu driver. Like, no. Dude, you're driving fucking, what is it, a GX Lexus or whatever? Alien from Lilo and Stitch. Your test fit, it hasn't even gone too well. Like, you clearly got scammed because your side skirt's not even fitting. And you zoom out. Okay, let me try and help you out here. Just bring some exposure up, see what we're working with here. Highlights down. Clarity can stay where it is. Take all the blue out. Bring the yellow across so I can get these little poles orange. Just make them all pop. Blues in the color grade. Highlights can be, a bit more orange. Shadows can be nice and dark. We do a generous pull. I'm just gonna do a big brush over the roof here. Take some saturation out. Bring some aqua down in the tone curve, just a little bit. It's amazing how much a tiny adjustment can make such a big difference to your color. And I'll also do the same for our blue channel here. Maybe some more exposure can come down. Nice one. Let's see what happens with a radial filter over our car here. And we just make the car the central focus. I mean, yeah, it's actually not looking as bad as I thought, to be honest. Okay, one last thing is missing. We should try and turn the headlights on here. Turn them on, make them halogen. Don't know if that's gonna work from a distance. Fuck, it looks shit. Maybe, are those the headlights there? Gotta love the design of these like early 2000s, late 90s Lexus. They really just made them ugly, but ugly is cool. It actually from a distance looks like a CLS Mercedes, I think. Like 2000 and like this, imagine that, yeah? You see it? I feel like I see it. There's a funny picture. Maybe with a denoise. Might actually help it. Because at the back here, there's a lot of noise going on. 3200 ISO, wow. There's our before and after. I'll take that. I will take that. What I'm actually surprised about here is you've found 2 people that are equally as bad at speccing their cars. I don't know, maybe I'm just becoming an old man. Maybe I'm just not a fan of brightly colored cars. Just be boring. Black, silver, white, dark blue. Dark green, maybe. Dark green works great. But lime green? I don't know. You gotta have, that's a really specific taste. From a photography perspective, I think you could have done a lot more with this area. You're in this shipping container yard, which I think is actually a really cool, interesting area. There's a lot of leading lines, a lot of textures everywhere. It's actually a really cool location if you can get into a shipping yard of any description. But what I would have liked to see is to have more breathing space between both cars here. That would have been nice to be able to see both cars fully instead of the M4 covering up. Is it a 2 series or 1 series? I don't know. All the BMW people now strangling me through the screen. What's really hard about shooting more than one car in a location? Kind of like shooting more than one model. It's not a linear difficulty when you're shooting one subject and then you add a second subject in. It doesn't get twice as hard. It gets exponentially more exponentially?
Exponentially, you stupid fuck.
It gets a lot harder, quicker than linear. Is what I'm trying to say. Fuck, man, I gotta read more books. You, as the photographer, now need to accommodate for that second subject, and you need to figure out new angles and how you're gonna make that work in the one image.
I forgot to talk, so here is me using the new North Borders V4 presets. Wow, look how good they look with only small adjustments.
That's probably how I would edit it. Something along these lines. Black wheels, man. Look at that, black wheels. And you have like this random sensor dust here. Let's try and get rid of that. Fucking black wheels, bro. Yeah. I don't know, probably do something like that. All right, bro, you got a lot of sensor dust going on here. But to be fair, most cameras nowadays are mirrorless, so you're just gonna get more and more sensor dust. Yeah, I think I'd probably do something like that. Dark, moody, works for the environment, makes the cars pop. Ugh. It doesn't matter how cool the car is, but when it's on grass, it just looks amateur. I know you're at a car show, there's heaps of cool cars around you, you want to take photos. I've been there, I've done it, I get it, I totally understand. But you're still getting roasted, okay? I'm still gonna roast you for it. There's gravel in front here, massive truck behind it, the car's not even on, the lights aren't on, the mirrors are folded in. Caravans over here in the back. I would even go as far as saying it, taking photos at car meets is just cheating. I'm not bashing the idea, because I used to do that. And I still do it every now and again. But again, just because it's a cool car at a car meet doesn't make it a great photo. Typical Nikon user. When I roast you out of love. I don't want to discourage anyone from trying different things, getting creative with photography. That's what, I love it, man. That's what we're about. But what I do know is this edit is fucking disgusting, bro.
Brother, what's that?
No one asked for you to do this. This type of edit just does not suit the car. There's not a single part of the car that was at one point silver, it's now green. That's a big difference. Okay, I'm gonna give this a go. Bring some exposure up, see what we're working with here. 3200 ISO, that's a decent amount. What an interesting vehicle as well. I love oddball cars though. A lot of people probably think it's ugly, but it's different. That's why I like it. Kind of reminds me of an American Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I feel like it definitely would be competing in that era of car. Let's make a mask over our car so we can keep the color. I see there's some sort of purple going on in the headlights here. I'm gonna take that out. And yeah, we've got some orange on this side of the car. Red cars at night, not easy to edit. You don't want to make the car pink. And it almost feels like it's got a really small threshold compared to other colors. Yeah, I don't think the dark greeny yellow that you've clearly overdone here is the right route to take for this image. I think the other way, for more of a blue, cooler look, while trying to keep it as simple as possible, is probably your best bet. I'm not a fan of how little amount of spacing I have to work with here. It's really frustrating me how small your breathing room here is on each side. But at least it's even on each side, I'll give you that. But it is definitely confining your image as well. Whereas if you just shot it landscape, you'd have a lot more natural negative space. Whereas we have a lot of ground here, a lot of the top part of the car park here, but even if I want to go and change it to a landscape image, I don't have enough to work with. And even if I want to rotate it like that, you see, radial filter from the top, get a bit more light on the top of the car here and across the side. Let me do a denoise quickly. Probably gonna bump it a bit more. You can kind of tell on the front here, see we're losing saturation in the car and we're going to this purple pink color, just a brush around the front here to keep that red. Take some greens out. I think I'm just gonna call it there. That's probably as much as I would edit it, to be honest. Before, after, verse. My edit, your edit. Look, I respect the fact you're trying to go around and play with different colors. I'm trying to encourage you to do that, but just not like this. I'd probably just honestly keep it simple because there's not a whole lot else going on in the subject. It's just the car. Oh God. We've reached the Mustang part of the video. There is no need to have that sticker on there. This car was ruined from factory. Unless you're talking about all the lives and families you've destroyed from hitting them, then that's fair enough. The fitment is clean though, I will give you that. That fitment nice and tucked at the back there. That's definitely not easy to do and it's expensive to do. So you get some points for that. Orange Mustang, why, dude? Why? Why is it? Whoa, this is clean. I already know what I'm gonna do here. 2x1, get some highlights going, bang, texture up, more highlights, take some vibrancy out, and we're done. Awesome, I love this diffused, foggy lighting. It is my absolute favorite to edit. So easy, so simple. And what a sick location, by the way. Where do you find that? Just an abandoned plane, the foggy abyss. Nah, new Subaru. I refuse to edit. This is the most disgusting car Subaru has ever built. And it's just an absolute disgrace to even call this a WRX. I don't know why the fuck would you go in and buy this? You spend your hard-earned money on this absolute abomination, and then you think you have the audacity to put a fucking STI wing on this thing. It's not an STI. It's barely a WRX. I'm not a fan. I refuse to edit it. Sorry. No. Good picture, but no. You've got this beautiful location, incredible sunset, great road as well, but for some reason, your little peanut brain decided to put the car on the grass, which seems like so much more effort. Back when I was shooting that lime green M4, we thought it would actually look cool for a grass shot, and we ended up getting it stuck on the wet grass. And I think ever since then, I've just been traumatized from shooting cars on the grass. I mean, how did you even get it here? Where did you drive it in from? There's like a whole fence and stuff going on here. Cars do not look good on grass. The only car that looks good on grass is a rally car, and that should be tearing that shit up, not stationary sitting there. Photograph your cars on the road where they belong, please. That's it. I'm gonna fix it. Like subject, take you, and let's now just see what happens. I love generative film, man. I love it. Make new road. Make new road. I'm very interested to see what this is gonna do. Okay. Look, even if we fix it up here, I don't know about all that writing down there, but fucking Gaussian blur that shit. Oh God, this is terrible. But there you go. Proof of concept. That works better than the grass. So next time, to successfully avoid the roast, photograph it on the road. Otherwise, it would have actually been the perfect picture. Quickly, just shout out to Hitter. This is his car. I know Hitter because he came on our photo camp in Bali last year. Thanks for sending your picture in, bro. And look at this. It's a great shot. Nice lighting, great composition, great lens choice, 85mm. To top it off, one of the best cars ever made. The strongest car ever made. This car, even with all of its rust on it, it'll still outlive us all. I think there's a slight miss on focus. It looks like it's a little bit more on the tire here than the front of the car. But because you're shooting at f3.2 and not 1.8, it sort of saves you a bit there. So well done. You've successfully avoided the roast. And honestly, I don't think this image just really needs a whole lot. I'm gonna bring a little bit of fade up here, boost the highlights, midtones, fucking orange all the way. Some more in the highlights there. Highlights are a little bit blown out here, but you know, it's workable. Gotta have a 2x1 crop. I think let's try a radial filter just to brighten up the little forest area at the back here. What does dehaze look like? Oh yeah, that actually works pretty good. Dehaze the image a bit. And our greens can come across. I think this edit really suits the car. Just wanna see what happens if we go into our blue channel here. And just from the bottom, the shadows. Pretty happy with that. Before, after. Well done, great shot. This is a textbook picture. Unless, can we get the highlights back? Oh yes, we can. Oh my God. Look at that, beautiful location. On the road, cars on the road, yeah? You watching that? It's not over here, hey? It's not down there on the hill, okay? It's not even down over here. It's on the road. Oh my God. That is a beautiful RWB. I can't fault this image. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. It's a beautiful location, incredible car, great settings, great lens choice, shot on Sony. What's not to love about this photo? Actually, I can't fault it. There's no roast here. It's just pure admiration. Just gently admiring your photos now. Change the title. Thank you for sending this picture. Look at that. This just reminds me of when you're on a photo shoot and the pictures in camera already look incredible, like they already look edited. That is probably one of my favorite things about photography. I feel honored to edit such an awesome picture like this. I don't want to go too overboard. Keep my highlights down. Shadows can come up. I'll just do a basic thing here so I can understand what I'm working with. I'm going to try a radial filter over the sky here and just make it nice and orange. and also take out any unnecessary colors we don't need. Like we don't need the blues in this image. Yellows can come down a bit. I don't want them too overpowered. Go back to our radial filter here. Maybe even a graduated filter from this side, just to make the color nice and even across all corners of the image. Mainly in the sky there, that's what I'm just trying to bring some color into the sky. Just so the whole sky is a similar color. We don't have mixed matching colors basically. Big adjustment here from the tone curve. Crush those blacks a little bit, or mid-tone to highlights can come up. I'm a big fan of that matte or satin finish in the highlights here. It's so minute, but I just love it. Let's try a little bit of yellows can come in. We take some more contrast out here. Some shadows can come up a little bit. Have a tiniest amount of dark green in those shadows there. I want the sky to be evenly lit across the whole image. Whatever, we'll just blow it out. I'm gonna bring some of the highlights up on the car and on the wheels as well. I know what you're probably thinking, Mike, this car has black wheels. Why aren't you roasting it? Yes, he may have black wheels, but guess what the black wheels have on them? Silver, which complements the car so nicely. They're not just completely black. What's the point of spending all this money on wheels if you can't even see them? You may as well just have stockies on there. I'm gonna bring out some clarity. Yeah, and a little bit of dehaze can come in as well. I feel like I just want the tiniest amount of blue in the shadows here. Something like that. Nothing too overpowering. It's just a tiny touch of blue. What's 2x1 look like actually? That is a poster. I hope you print your image, man. That is print worthy. Look at that. I'm gonna stand up and have a look at that from a distance. That's just incredible. I could bring a tear to my eye. That's got to be one of the most beautifully, well-composed, well-lit images I've ever had the pleasure of editing on this channel. It's like the opposite of roasting. Mega complimenting your pictures. What would you rather, boys? This? That's my before and after. That's beautiful, man. Well done. I'm very proud of you. Well done, son. Bagged Tesla. I don't understand the point of modifying a Tesla. Bro, how many stickers? How many sponsors could you possibly have, bro? How many things could you possibly do to a Tesla? I hate when people buy a Tesla and think they own a nice car they can rock up to car meets in. It's like, dude, no. Modifying an electric vehicle is just pointless to me. It's not even a nice car. The Tesla 3 looks like the Michelin Man. There you go, immediately better. Fixed. From a photography point of view, it's not like it's a bad picture, but it's also not a good picture. I'm gonna have to go to therapy now after looking at this. There's a lot of movement going on here, which is what I really like about it. Live music is very difficult to shoot. I haven't shot a whole lot of live music. It's not easy. Composition-wise, I love it. You've got great movement happening everywhere. I want to blow out the highlights here. Shadows can come down. I think the radial filter has got to be one of my favorite selective adjustments in Lightroom. We invert it, bring shadows down, gonna make the image cooler, and then another radial gradient. It's not inverted like the other one. Clarity out. Already in 2 clicks, we're already starting to isolate our subject. I'm gonna try and go a bit crazy. So let's just fucking yeet that down. I want the flags really popping in the picture. And a huge highlight pop. Our aquas aren't doing much. Bring the purples across to blue. Bring up the luminance of our yellows. That's affecting behind our lead singer, those lights there. So I want those really blown out. Probably worth getting a denoise going. Before, after. Feel free to send me some of your raw photos to this email. And I'll see you next time.